Are you ready? Let's do this. It is time for slime. Woo! Okay, so this would be based if you had a regular 8-ounce bottle of glue. I do not have that. I have the ginormous jug of glue. Everybody else was buying toilet paper and I was buying the jug of glue. So I'm going to make the recipe just like you would if you had the 8-ounce bottle. Okay, so here is 8 ounces of glue and I'm going to pour that into my bowl. The funny thing about glue is that it does not come all the way off of the container. As you can see, some of this is sticking here. So I'm going to wiggle it and I'm going to shake it, but I still have a lot of glue in there. So the next step, you would just pour into your bottle. You would just pour into the bottle of glue. I'm just going to pour it into my cup. You're going to fill that bottle about half full. So that's about 4 ounces of water. And I can stir this around. And that helps to get the glue off of the sides. It'll do the same thing for the sides of the bottle. Okay. Now that I've done that, I can pour it right in here. At this point, you could add food coloring if you wanted. Some of you are telling me you don't have food coloring at home, and that's fine. You don't need food coloring for this. So I stir it up. It just looks kind of soupy. And mush it all together. Okay, and that's a little bit of warm water, not hot. Then the other thing that I'm going to do is I have another half a cup of warm water. And into that half a cup of warm water, this is what I'm going to add. 1 heaping teaspoon of borax. 1 heaping teaspoon of borax. Heaping because you can see that there's some on the top. I filled it and it's like overflowing a little bit, but not huge. So now I'm going to pour this into my other half cup of water. So, so far I'm going to pour this heaping teaspoon into a half a cup of warm water. Could be hot. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and I'm going to stir it up just like this. And not all of my borax is going to dissolve. Okay. When I look at it and I think that, yeah, that looks pretty good, I'm going to take my borax solution and I'm going to slowly pour it into my glue solution. Okay. And I'm going to stir it. Whoa. I didn't use all of my borax water. Okay. I didn't use all of it. If I want, I could add a little bit more. I'm going to mix it with my hand. Oh, it is good and goopy. It's not quite there. I'm going to add just a little bit more of the water. Whoa. It is looking good. I don't want it to be this sticky though, so I'm just going to keep mixing. I squish it between my fingers. I can scrape it off of the bottom. It's looking good. It's not quite there. Not quite where I want it. Almost. Okay, so I stopped the camera for a little bit, and what I did was I've been mixing this since you've been gone, and it was really, really sticky. And I just kept pulling it back and forth and back and forth. You can see that there's still a little bit here on my hands, but now it's starting to come so that it will just pull off of my hands and not be so sticky. But I kept working it back and forth, kind of like you're pulling taffy. Now, I want to show you how much of my water is left. The water with the borax, you can see some of the borax crystals settled out, and there's some of the water left. It looks like I've got about 1/4 of a cup. So I used about half of what I started with. Okay, I started with 1/2 cup. So I just slowly poured it in. Now, the more that I work this, it's really a nice consistency. It is not sticking. You just have to keep working it. And, you know, I found doing this in the science classroom that sometimes kids' hands tend to be a little bit warmer than mine. And I don't know if that adds to the stickiness or not, but it just seems like when you play with it or your hands are really warm, it gets really sticky, but you have to keep it in motion like this until it gets to a good place. I know we all want to play with it so fast, but then if we don't have it so it's not sticky, then it's a mess and we get in trouble, and you know, our moms and dads really don't like that, and it gets everywhere. This way, it's just contained. Now you can take it a step further. You can put this on the table and you can see what happens if you put a straw into it. You can put a straw into, like if you made this really flat, you could put a straw underneath and you could see if you could blow a bubble, right? You could see if you could get some air in there. Some kids like to put it over a bottle or a jar and stretch it out and see if they can get a bubble that way. So super fun. I can hear that it's got air in it now. It's crackling a little bit when I crunch down on it. So that is basic slime. It is so fun and I love it. If you wanted to make a second batch with a color, then you could mix these two together. If you are a household without food coloring, don't worry. It's still super cool, right? Still awesome. We love this. It's our favorite.